And let's pull zoom back up. And also let's pop out. What the hell is that? That's an ad? That's an ad running on my live stream right now?
Oh, hell.
Ain't that a blip?
You live.
Where is the chat? That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm pulling up chat.
That's crazy. I got the chat. Well, you driving, ain't you, bro?
Yeah, but I'm good.
Yo, is this another ad? Oh, no good. I'm not even sure if I'm on yet.
What's up, Anthony Davis?
What's up, Anthony Davis? How are you, bro? I'm hearing ads playing, and I'm wondering if the audience right now.
On my end, nah.
You don't see an ad?
Nah, I just see you.
Hang on one second, man. Now. Hang on one second. Let me do something real quick. We about to get this popping here, family. Let me get rid of that screen.
What's up, Red Assassin?
Oh no, yeah. Let me get rid of this. This is in the way.
Ashes Heartless.
There we go. There we go. All right, boom.
Minda boy. You
don't see an
ad? Hang on one second, man. I got something playing in the background.
Yeah, something was going on. There ain't no ads on the stream. I can't see the chat no more because I can hear it, and it's messing with me.
Okay, boom. Let me get rid of this. Bang. There we go. Man, that was crazy. That's from having multiple screens open. That's what was going on just now. I had to, when it's crazy when you do this. I got the Zoom screen open, and then I got 2 YouTube screens open as well, and it'll start playing another video in the background. So that's what was going on just now, man. But I believe we are all clear, man. So what's going on, fellas? What's going on? Anthony Davis, X-Red Assassin, Roy R, Ashes Heartless, Baminda Boy. What's going on? Anthony Davis, I'm doing good. There's no ads. I got you, bro. Yeah, that was on my end. I got that straight. Ashes Heartless says you're on. And man, it is good to see you. Good to see y'all guys as well, man. And I'm always addressing guys, and my channel is predominantly guys, but maybe because I'm always addressing guys and I'm never saying, hey ladies, how y'all doing as well. So all right, man. Yeah, there you go. There's a lot of female truck drivers out here as well, man, looking for jewels, looking for nuggets as well. So hope all you guys are here this afternoon or this evening to hear my perspective on these ELDT changes, these entry-level driver training changes that are supposed to go into effect February 7th, 2022. That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. And the reason I'm going to do this video, man, is because I've been reading some information on blog posts. I've been listening to different videos, and I've been hearing and reading the information that's being put out on this subject. And I gotta admit, in my opinion, some of what I'm reading is kind of BS, right? So like, YouTubers are a lot of the times always trying to, and bloggers, we're always trying to get traffic. We're always trying to get attention, and right. So, it's easy for us to say, well, hurry up, or you got to do this, or it's about to change, or if you don't do this by this date, then you know what I mean? Like you're it's no use in doing it. And so in this video, I'm going to look to address just a few questions regarding the ELDT. I'm going to talk about, because these are the things that I've read on the blog posts, or on different blog posts that I've read. I'm going to talk about whether this affects everyone. I've read that on blog posts, that this change that's coming February 7th, 2022, regarding the process of getting your CDL affects everyone. That's the first thing I'm going to try to answer or address on this video. Next thing I'm going to try to address is is the process gonna get harder to get a CDL? I'm gonna try to address that. Is the process gonna get longer? Is it gonna take more time to get the to get a CDL? And also, I'm gonna try to address, is it gonna cost more to get your CDL starting February 7th, 2022? And I'm also going to give my opinion on whether overall this right here will help highway safety, because that's the kind of the purpose of it overall, right? So, I'm not the authority on this subject. Just throw a little disclaimer out there before we get started. I'm not the authority, and so I'm just kind of giving my perspective on everything that I'm reading firsthand on the FMCSA's various websites and web pages, as opposed to what I'm reading in the blog posts and hearing on videos. Again, I'm just trying to kind of clear up some any confusion that people may have, because it's like the popular opinion on this is, man, get your CDL before February 7th. It's going to get harder. It's going to get more difficult. And I say basically no to all of that. So going to try to clear up some of that in this video right here, okay? Goddess Mac says hi. Kevin Johnson says hello. What's going on, Kevin? What would you do? How you doing? Nicole Mott, how you doing? Ashes Heartless, hey, there's my man. Sorry, it's like I'm saying my man, just squishing it together. Elliot Peppers, what's up? Jose Babadia, I'm on too. What's going on, Jose? Ashes Heartless says, I'm a woman by birth even. We ain't gonna get into that subject, all right? Who is looking to get into trucking, okay? She also says, woo boy, you think they want to make it easier. What with the backlog of products? Well, again, that's kind of the popular thing that's been spread around on the internet, Ashes, that this whole process, the ELDT training, is going to make it harder. I'm gonna share with you why, in my opinion, I don't really think it's going to make it harder. Okay, you can draw whatever perspective from it you want, but I'm gonna share what I'm reading in my perspective on the subject. Right? Roy R says, I believe it's going to cost more and a lot more steps to acquire a CDL. I disagree, Roy R. I'm gonna share with you why. So stick around, but I kind of disagree on that one, right? So, shoot, man, I got my homie on with me, Chris Ward here. I thought Chris was off today. Dirty Joker, man. I thought you was on break this week, big homie. I thought you was on vacation this week, but you holding the steering wheel today, bro. Where you at? Where you going?
Bills never stop. That's all I'm gonna say. I got a chance to go pick up an $1,800 load 4 hours away from the house and bring it back. So that's what we're doing. Got you, man. Yeah. So you going back? You gonna be back home tonight, tomorrow morning? What? Yeah, it'll be tonight. I got 2 hours, roughly 2 hours left to go. Coming out of South Carolina back into North Carolina. I'm probably like 20 miles away from Charlotte. Got you. I got you. All right, cool, man. Cool beans. So you gonna rock with me for a little bit, I guess, huh? Yeah, man. Yeah. So, I just put up a well. This is not relevant to you anymore because you're not training anymore, correct? I mean, I could be. But you haven't been doing any company training or training people to get their CDL, correct? Nah, I own my own truck now. Yeah, got you, man. Got you. Are you aware of the ELDT, the entry-level driver training program that's starting next year? I'm not, so this is going to be new to me as well. I've heard they're trying to redo things, but I'm not too sure exactly what's been said. I got you. So you don't really have an opinion on it at all, whether it's going to get harder, whether it's going to take longer to get a CDL, none of that stuff, right? When I hear what you got to say, I might know a little something. I got you. Well, again, most of the blog posts that I've been reading and most of the videos that I've been listening to on this subject, I've heard people say things, and I've read things. I've heard and read. This affects everyone that's looking to get their CDL. And when I read that, I'm like, nah, that's not what I got off of the FMCSA's website. Okay, so if there are people that believe that this affects everyone, then I'm going to deal with that. Again, some other things that I've come away with from listening to videos and reading blog posts is that this is going to make the process more difficult. Somebody just said it in the chat a few minutes ago. It's going to take more time to get the CDL. It's going to cost more. I've heard people say all of that stuff. I'm going to try to deal with all of that in this video. And I'm thinking that's what most people believe in regards to this subject, right? So boom, we're going to get right into it, okay? Anthony Davis says, Ash says he's
in South Carolina. Got you.
That's what's up.
There you go. Jermaine Young says I'm on the road now. You say you're rolling through now. Jermaine Young says I'm on the road now. Love the content. Glad you're here, Jermaine Young. Hard Stoner says hi all. Anthony Davis says I got my CDL Class B permit, thinking about getting into trucking next year. All right, so I'm sure you've been hearing about the ELDT regulations next year, Anthony Davis. Kyle says it will take longer for more school hours required, so schools will change more probably. Stick around, Kyle. I'm gonna share with you my perspective on what you just now said. All right, boom. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait till my phone connects again. I have internet issues down here, man. I should not be having internet issues down here. I'm gonna connect on my phone and I'm gonna share my phone screen. I think that'll be the easiest way to for me to do this.
On my end, you sound good. I guess you're talking about like surfing web pages.
Well, I'm joining from my phone as well, and my connection from my computer, which is what you're hearing me on right now and seeing me on right now, is fine. But my connection on my phone is spotty. And so I'm going to join from my phone and share my phone screen as well, okay? Boom, here we go.
Recording in progress.
Let me mute that.
Hey.
There we go. I took care of it. I took care of it, man. All right, so let me share my screen here. Share screen. And that should be popping up on here. Yep. Maurice Bay has started sharing screen. There we go. All right. So first thing, I'm going to go to Samsung Notes. I'm going to go to tpr.fmcsa.dot.gov. I hope this subject interests you somewhat, Chris, because you're driving and you know what I mean. Like this is kind of a boring subject. You know what I mean? Like going over CDL regulations. Say what?
I'm down to back you up on anything, man. So we can talk about whatever.
My man. All right, cool. All right, so let's get into what I want to address, what I want to share with you here. I definitely think this is relevant information, and I haven't really heard anybody else put emphasis on the points that I'm going to make here tonight. All right, so I'm just going to read. I'm not going to read this whole website, but this is the website that I'm on. If you guys want to check this out and you guys want to dig into this more, you see the website that I'm on, tpr.fmcsa.dot.gov. All right, so I'm not going to read the whole page. I'm just going to read some things that are relevant to you guys. I'm assuming that most of you have already heard the basics regarding the ELDT program. If you haven't, I'm going to read through some of the basics here, but again, I'm not going to read the whole page, all right? Coming February 7th, 2022, let me adjust my mic a little bit here. Coming February 7th, 2022, the Training Provider Registry, that's called the TPR, all right, will improve highway safety by ensuring that entry-level drivers of commercial motor vehicles complete training as required by the new entry-level driver training regulations. That's something that I'm going to deal with on this video as well. Do I believe this will improve highway safety? Do I believe getting anybody that wants to get a CDL to go through entry-level driver training, do I believe that will improve highway safety? Again, I don't think it will. All right, but yeah, and the reason I don't believe that it will is because and you'll see if you don't know this already, Chris, but you'll see in a few minutes when I go over this. Like this is only training for entry-level drivers, and entry-level drivers are people that don't have CDLs now, basically. So essentially, it's basically the Fed's way of saying we want to make sure that everybody is looking to get a CDL is getting a certain degree of training. All right, but again, I'm gonna share with you why I don't think it's gonna help. I'm gonna scroll down some on this website, scrolling down right now to what are the entry-level driver training regulations. The ELDT regulations set the minimum federal requirements for training that entry-level drivers must complete before being permitted to take certain commercial driver's license, skills, or knowledge tests. So again, just to reiterate, the feds are setting minimum requirements for training that entry-level drivers must complete before they can get their CDL. All right, so that's basically what that says. All right, Who is considered an entry-level driver? Individuals applying to obtain a Class A CDL or Class B CDL for the first time. Individuals looking to upgrade an existing Class B CDL to a Class A CDL. And individuals seeking to obtain a school bus S endorsement, a passenger P endorsement, or a hazardous materials H endorsement for the first time. These are the individuals that are entry-level drivers and that are expected to go through this program. Read the next two paragraphs. The ELDT requirements apply to individuals who obtain a commercial learner's permit on or after February 7th, 2022. The ELDT regulations are not retroactive. They do not apply to individuals holding a valid CDL or an SP or H endorsement issued prior to February 7th, 2022. Okay, so they just outline right there basically who this applies to. The next paragraph says who this doesn't apply to, who is
So
exempt.
technically that would apply to me, because if I was to go get a hazmat endorsement, which I don't have, this would apply to me. Even if I have a Class A, I don't have that endorsement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm interested. You got my attention.
yes, that would apply to you, okay? If you wanted to go and get that endorsement, all right? So we've covered this. Let me scroll down some here, and there's some scenarios here that you can look at to see if you are an individual that would have to take this entry level training. All right, I'm gonna skip over that. Again, you guys know what website I'm on, so if you got questions on this, I suggest that you definitely go to this website. There's a learn more section here with some stuff that you can download to your phone to address more questions that you might have. What's relevant here, what I want to get into, the meat and potatoes of what I want to get into, is down here at the bottom where it says read the ELDT regulations. There's 5 sections down here. The first one is the one that applies to individuals that are looking to get their CDL, entry-level driver training requirements on and after February 7th, 2022. 49 CFR Part 380, Subpart F. All right. Now, again, this is boring stuff. There's a lot of reading here. I'm not going to read through all of this, but I am going to. Again, I don't want to just be saying this. All right. So the first thing I feel like I've already addressed is, does this affect everyone? And I say this doesn't necessarily affect everyone. This affects individuals that are looking to get a CDL and not go to school. Because basically what's going on is the feds are basically saying anybody that wants to get a CDL has to go to school now. All right. So if you were looking to get a CDL without going to school, this affects you. If you're looking to get a CDL and you were planning on going to school anyway, then this really doesn't affect you. Okay. So the next question you might have right now is, all right, well, if I was planning on going to school anyway, I've also heard that the process is going to get more difficult because there's more stuff that I got to be taught in school. So that's kind of what I'm going to address right now. And I'm going to kind of read through the relevant stuff on the page that I'm on right now. Okay. So I'm in subpart F right here. Registry of entry-level driver training providers on and after February 7th, 2022. Some of this stuff is irrelevant, so let me just scan through and get to what's important to you guys. The purpose and the scope. This subpart establishes training requirements for entry-level drivers. So they're going to share with you in this part what you are required to go through in this training. Okay. Now I want to lay something out here real quick before I get into this. And Chris, you went to CDL school, am I correct? You actually went to a school to get your CDL. You didn't go to CDL. Gotcha. I actually went to a school to get my CDL. I went to Shipper's Choice down in Chester, Virginia. And I got to shout out Shipper's Choice down in Chester, Virginia. And there's a reason why I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But I went to CDL school down in Shipper's Choice in Chester, Virginia.
I did go to do my skills test at a school. I don't know if that counts. But I just
say that again. Say that again, Chris.
I went to do my skills test in a school. So I'd already passed and got my permit, and then I did my skills test at Trans Tech. I used their truck and trailer.
Did you get any training at Trans Tech, or did you just go and take the test through
them? I went in there
them?
and showed her what I could do, and she said, you passed.
Gotcha. Well, you won't be able to do that anymore now. Not that way.
Right.
You individuals have to complete a program, the ELDT program. So the days of just walking into the DMV to get your CDL, your learner's permit, and then holding it for a few days, 14 days or 30 days or whatever it is, and then going back to test at the DMV to get your CDL kind of on your own, those days are gone. Okay, but again, from my perspective, I went to school, and I believe that most people that are getting their CDL nowadays probably go to school. Damn, I just lost connection again on my phone. I believe that most people are probably going to school. So the first thing I'm wanting to you guys to understand is if you're planning on going to school, this really doesn't affect you. Okay, if you weren't planning on going to school, this may affect you, because now you got to go to school and you got to go through the curriculum. Give me 1 second here, man. I lost connection on my phone again. I lost connection on my phone again. I don't know why I keep losing connection on my phone. I don't know why.
Oh, DOT is hot today. They've been hot all the way from North Carolina to South Carolina and Georgia.
I was assuming they would not be hot today.
They ain't out spending that money on Black Friday, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was assuming they would not be hot today. All right.
Making the state some money today.
All right, boom. Share screen. If I lose this again, I'm probably just going to try to share from my computer. Keep on losing the damn thing. All right. Now, where were we? All right. This subpart establishes training requirements for entry-level drivers. So again, they're going to give you what requirements you have to go through, okay? As defined in this subpart, and minimum content for theory and behind-the-wheel training curricula. Entry-level driver training, as defined in this subpart, applies only to those individuals who apply for a commercial driver's license or CDL upgrade or endorsement and does not otherwise amend substantive CDL requirements. All right, so now they give some definitions down here, okay? They define a lot of the terms that you may see when you're reading information on the ELDT program. They define actually what behind the wheel instructor is. They define what behind the wheel training is, public road training. They define what behind the wheel range training is. They define what entry level driver is. They define what entry level driver training is, what range is, what theory instruction is, what theory instructor is. And I believe that one of the reasons that they go through defining, I lost the signal again on my phone. I believe that one of the reasons they go through defining all of this stuff is because like most of the changes that are going to come with this aren't going to affect necessarily the CDL applicants. It affects the training providers. They are the ones that have to make a lot of changes. Okay, so the school that I went to, Shipper's Choice, was already doing a lot of the things that the feds are saying that schools have to do now. They was already doing a lot of that stuff. Okay, so if you've been going through the same process that I went through at Shipper's Choice 6 years ago, then it's going to be the same thing that you're having to go through after February 7th, 2022, okay? Because Shipper's Choice was already doing a lot of that stuff. If you were looking to get your CDL like Chris Ward here did before, when he got his CDL, then you're not going to be able to just do that. You're going to have to go to the school now. What I want to share with you, if I can get my phone to stay on here, what I want to share with you is essentially the same stuff, the curriculum that the feds are saying that the training providers have to take you through now is no different than the stuff that you need to be going through anyway. It's no different than the stuff that Shipper's Choice took us through before this was federally mandated. Okay, so the people in the chat that are saying it's going to get more difficult, I'm going to show you in a second that it's not going to get more difficult. And if it's not more difficult, then it shouldn't take longer, because again, Shipper's Choice was already going through this process anyway. Now, if you go into a school that wasn't going through all of this stuff that I'm going to share with you, then they have to expand their process. But who the hell want to go through a CDL school that ain't training you all the stuff that you need to be trained anyway? You get what I'm saying?
Seems like out there
who really wants to do that anyway? And that's what I mean by the training. The people that are going to be most affected by this are the training providers that are not providing this type of training. Shipper's Choice was already providing this level of training anyway. Okay, so if it was a CDL school that was I want to be careful how the words I use. If it was CDL school that wasn't already doing the training, that wasn't already meeting the minimum federal guidelines that are being laid out right now, which Shipper's Choice was, then that school is either going to have to make some changes or they're going to go out of business. Okay, so again, the most of the changes are going to come on the part of the service provider. Okay, want to point that out. So let me click back in real quick with my phone. Try this one more time. And let me share again. Try this one more time. And let me go back here. Now, what I want to go down to here, because I don't want to spend too much time on this. It goes over again right here. The section is showing on the screen now. The general entry-level driver training requirements is basically saying who has to go through this program. We kind of already went through that. The next part is the registry of entry-level driver training providers on and after February 7th. The rules in this subpart establish the eligibility requirements for listing on FMCSA's training provider registry. So this part is for training providers. So I'm going to scroll past this because this isn't applicable to you guys that are looking to get your CDL. Here's some good stuff, some really good stuff down here at the bottom or towards the bottom. All right, Appendix A to Part 380, Class A CDL Training Curriculum. Here's the curriculum. Here is what the school is going to have to take you through, okay? So you say, all right, is it harder? Is the schooling going to become harder, and is the process more difficult? Class A CDL applicants must complete the Class A CDL curriculum outlined in this appendix. So I want to go over right here what you're going to have to do, what the school got to teach you, okay? The curriculum for Class A applicants pertains to combination vehicles as defined in 49 CFR 383. Class A CDL applicants who possess a valid Class B CDL may complete the theory instruction upgrade curriculum in lieu of the theory instruction standard curriculum. A little bit off topic, but it's basically saying with that sentence that a person that's looking to upgrade from Class B to Class A don't have to go through the whole process, essentially. They may complete the theory instruction upgrade curriculum in lieu of the theory instruction standard curriculum. Hope you guys are following that. There is no required minimum number of instruction hours for theory training, but the training instructor must cover all topics set forth in the curriculum. There is no required minimum number of instruction hours for behind the wheel, range, and public road training, but the training instructor must cover all topics set forth in the behind the wheel curriculum. Now, I want to dig into that sentence right there. There is no required minimum number of instruction hours for the theory training, and there is no required minimum number of instruction hours for the behind the wheel training, the range training, or the on the road training. Now, Chris, have you ever heard me say in any of my videos before where I was talking about CDL school that there were individuals in my CDL school that felt like they didn't get enough time behind the wheel? Have you ever heard me say that or anybody else say that? Okay, so
I heard everybody say that.
That kind of, now I don't know what the standard was before then, but with this new program, it clearly says right there that there is no minimum hours that a person has to be given in theory training or in behind the wheel training, and that goes for range training or actually public road training. So anybody, the individuals that are in CDL school, because there are some out there that feel like, man, I'm not getting enough time behind the wheel. Again, I don't want to stretch this out too much, but this is the way it was at Shipper's Choice. The instructor is the one that logged how you were progressing through the process of learning how to drive a truck. That's the way it was at the CDL school that I went to 6 years ago, and that is still the way that it is right now. So the school doesn't have to give you a certain amount of hours of either theory training or behind the wheel training, but your instructor is the one that is logging your progress through that process. Okay, so just want to make that clear. Right, so you know, like, again, it's not like, well, damn, you know, they're gonna address the people that feel like they don't have enough time, like Your instructor is the one that decides whether you're getting enough, whether you getting that stuff or not. It sounds like to me. All right. You got anything you want to add in, Chris, or ask or anything like that while I'm pulling my phone back up again?
if somebody's progressing real good and you can tell, you know, they're going to be all right, then why not go ahead and move on to the next guy that might have some issues. I mean, training. We're not even talking about the same video, but like we and you talked about last time, you just need to get behind the wheel to know how to drive.
Yeah. And again, that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Is this going to help highway safety? You know what I mean? Like, I haven't gone through everything yet that I've wanted to share with the audience here, but I don't see how it can help highway safety. You know, not saying that there's not a way to help highway safety, but ensuring that anybody that wants to get a CDL goes through the minimum standards. That's not where the mistake is happening at. That's not where people are falling out at. All right. I don't see, in other words, let me say it another way. If you could, I don't see it as you're a better driver when you go through CDL school like I did, as opposed to when you get your CDL like Chris did. You're not necessarily a better driver. I didn't come out, I wouldn't say a better driver than Chris, and I think we can agree with this because the only way to learn how to drive a truck is actually behind the wheel in real world situations, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, boom. Let me go back to, and I see you guys' comments coming up, but I want to share this, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna cover some of your comments. All right. All right, boom. So, where was I? There is no required minimum number of instruction hours for behind the wheel training. Behind the wheel training, here's where I am right here, family. Let me go up one. Right here. This is the sentence that I'm on right here. Behind the wheel training must be conducted in a commercial motor vehicle for which a Class A CDL is required. The instructor must determine and document, that's what I was just talking about, that each driver trainee has demonstrated proficiency in all elements of the behind the wheel curriculum unless otherwise noted. Consistent with the definitions of behind the wheel training, which they defined that earlier in this article, and behind the wheel public and road training, a simulation device cannot be used to conduct such training, so they can't use a driver simulator to give you your behind the wheel training. Excuse me, what was that? God damn it, am I off again? Not quite. Damn, it just went off again. I gotta do this a different way, man. I gotta do this a different way, because I just keep getting knocked off on my phone. So let me do this. So
you can't go buy American Truck Simulator and get your behind the wheel training, y'all. Sorry. I wish we got paid like that. Them loads on that game, man, I'm telling you. $48,000 for 1,000 miles. Shit.
All right. So let me try something different here. Let me try something a little bit different here. I'm gonna share my computer screen. I was trying to do that from my phone, but for some reason my phone just can't. I just keep losing the screen. All right, boom. Share screen. And I shouldn't lose this anymore now. All right, so we're gonna go to, let me open this up here.
Whee.
Hang on. I'll tell you what. There we go. Boom. All right. Backspace. I got the website right here pulled up. HTTPS. I can't type. Where's my whatchamacallit thingy at, man? My little colon thingy. I can't even see it. I can't even see it. There we go. Damn.
Everybody uses their phones nowadays and computers and keyboards.
PR. Dot. All right. FMCSA. I have no clue if anybody is even still on here with us, man. I have no clue. FMCSA. Dot.
You got a big family. I'm sure there's people still here.
Dot. Gov. / All
I'm
right.
still here, so that must mean something.
All right, boom. Here we go. Now let me scroll down to the bottom of this page and get back to where we were. Here we go, right here on the right. Okay. Scroll down. Yeah, I'm going through the definitions now. All right, boom. Here we go. Cdl Training Curriculum. That's where we were. All right. There's no required minimum number of instruction hours. Let me move this here real quick. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I need to move it. There we go. Boom. There's no required minimum number of instruction hours for behind the wheel, range, and public road training, but the training instructor must cover all topics set forth in the behind the wheel curriculum. Behind the wheel training must be conducted in a CMV for which a Class A CDL is required. The instructor must determine and document that each driver trainee has demonstrated proficiency in all elements of the behind the wheel curriculum unless otherwise noted. Consistent with the definitions of behind the wheel range training and behind the wheel public road training in it says what section here. A simulation device cannot be used to conduct such training or to demonstrate proficiency. Training instructors must document the total number of clock hours each driver trainee spends to complete the behind the wheel curriculum. The Class A curriculum must at a minimum include the following. All right, so now here we get into exactly what they got to teach you. All right, so here is the theory instruction standard curriculum. I'm not going to read through all of this, but I'm making a point with this, okay? So this is the theory instruction, and they define theory instruction higher up in the article, but theory instruction is just telling you, okay? So when I went to CDL school, and I covered this in my video that I did, my CDL school review. It's a video that's still available on my channel, and it's still very relevant to getting your CDL right now. But in that video, I talked about how for a portion of CDL school, we were in the classroom. And I talked about how the CDL instructor was telling us all kinds of stories about, we were going through the FMCSA booklet, the thick booklet, and also the instructor, the classroom instructor, was taking us through all kinds of stories and stuff about different scenarios that we're going to encounter on the road. I talked about this in that video that I did 4 years ago, okay? This is, according to the definition of theory instruction, this is what Shipper's Choice was taking us through when we were in the classroom. That is the theory portion of what the feds are saying that you got to go through. Again, I guess kind of going back to my point, if you were already planning on going to school, according to the process that I went through at Shipper's Choice, like they were already taking people through the theory instruction. They were already taking people through the classroom training. And Shipper's Choice is why I'm shouting them out as well. They also gave us a test based on the theory instruction that they gave us in the classroom. Not the written test that you got to take to get your commercial learner's permit, but a test basically for the school. And I didn't pay much attention. I know I passed it. I didn't pay much attention to what my passing grade was, but I've read something in some of these articles that is part of the process as well. Like, you're going to be tested on the theory-based portion of what they got to teach you. But CDL schools, my school was already doing that anyway. So that is not an extra step, all right? So here's what they're going to talk about in the theory instruction portion. And this is everything that the CDL instructor at Shipper's Choice took us through in the classroom. Okay, as I'm reading this, I'm like, this is the same stuff we went through. It's not more difficult. It's not more timely. Where's the cursor at? Basic operation, obviously. Let me keep scrolling down and just scroll through this stuff. Orientation. This unit must introduce driver trainees to the combination vehicle driver training curriculum and the components of a combination vehicle. You need to know that, all right? Control systems, the dashboard. Ms. Laura in Shipper's Choice covered that with us in the classroom. Let me try this another way. There we go. pre and post trip inspections, basic control, shifting, operating, the transmission, how to shift, backing and docking, coupling and uncoupling, safe operating procedures, visual search, communication, distracted driving, speed management, space management, night operation, extreme driving conditions, advanced operating practices, hazard perception, skid control, recovery, jackknifing, and other emergencies. This is all the stuff that we were covering in the classroom 5.5 years ago when I got my CDL. Railroad highway grade crossings, vehicle systems and reporting malfunctions, identification and diagnosis of malfunctions, roadside inspections, maintenance, non-driving activities, handling and documenting cargo, environmental compliance issues, hours of service requirements. I don't want to go through all of this stuff, but essentially this is all basic stuff, okay? So this is what the curriculum consists of that the training providers are going to have to take you through in the theory-based portion of your CDL training. But again, this is all the stuff that we went through in the classroom 5.5 years ago. So again, I'm going to kind of reiterate what I said from the beginning. This affects, from what I can see, this affects people that didn't go to school, that aren't planning on going to school, that don't want to go to school. But if you went to a school that was proficient at doing what they did, like Shipper's Choice, I haven't seen anything a step that you have to go through after February 7th yet that I didn't have to go through at Shipper's Choice. Whistleblower, coercion, trip planning, drugs and alcohol. And then they describe here what the behind the wheel range training consists of: vehicle inspection, pre-trip, post-trip, straight line backing, alley dock backing, offset backing, parallel blindside backing, parallel sight side backing, coupling and uncoupling. Then they go through the behind the wheel public road training portion. So this is the stuff that they're going through right here, everything that the school has to teach you. All right. Now, again, I don't want to read out everything, but like if I just continue to read through this, you still listening to me, Chris? Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm just looking at my GPS.
It's all good. If I was still reading through all of this stuff, like Chris would have to say, well, all of that stuff that you're reading off is like, I mean, damn, that's what you need to be going over if you're in the classroom anyway, right?
Yeah. Now, but the testing part of it is a little bit different. When I was tested, I wasn't tested for a post trip or a blindside backing or none of that. So this is different.
Well, you were tested for, I want to make sure I get it right. You're going to be tested on the theory-based portion of your ELDT training. In other words, when they took us through the classroom training at Shipper's Choice, they gave us a test based on the information that they shared with us in the classroom, just in the classroom.
Okay.
And that, again, that wasn't the test that we had to take to actually get our learner's permit. Now, when it came time for you to, the only test that we had to take to do blindside backing and pre-trip was the actual, what's called the road skills test.
Yeah.
Which that's what you got to do before you go out on the road. You got to, you got to pre-trip the truck, then you got to, make sure you can do the air brake test. You got to make sure you can do the 3 different back tests. Then you get to go out on the road. So, that part hasn't changed.
Right. Okay.
That part right there hasn't changed. You're still gonna be tested on that part, but that is the part that you're tested with to actually get your CDL.
So this is just all classroom stuff so far.
The stuff that I read off so far. Yes. Now, they go through right here let me go back up some here. Just a bit here. They go through non-driving activities. They go through the driving activities, the theory. And this is a theory-based portion part. That's what it said at the top, all right? And then they talk about what the behind the wheel training needs to consist of. So essentially, the behind the wheel training that I got at Shipper's Choice on the range, and I said this in the video that I did where I reviewed their training on the range, consisted of pre-trip in the truck and doing the different backup maneuvers and doing the air brake test. That was the range training that we got at Shipper's Choice. Okay. The on the road training, I'm gonna scroll down some here. The behind the wheel public road training, it discussed all of the stuff here that the school is expected to train you: shifting, communication, signaling, visual search, all of that good stuff that's in this section right here is the stuff that the schools have to teach you as far as behind the road, as far as behind the wheel on the road training. Same stuff that Shipper's Choice told us. The only thing, again, and the theory-based part wasn't different either. It wasn't different for people that went through a school like Shipper's Choice, because Shipper's Choice taught us in the classroom for a while, gave us a test based on the theory that they gave us in the classroom. So you didn't have to take any theory-based testing when you went to get your CDL. Obviously, Chris, you just went in and got your learner's permit and then went back in a couple of weeks or whatever and did the pre-trip and the back end and the air brake test to actually go out on the road and get your CDL, correct?
Correct.
Exactly. So
a lot easier for me.
Well, you know what was interesting, man? When I went to CDL school, I told my pop, I said, Pop, well, because I got a dad that drives the truck. You know that. I'm like, Pop, is there any, can't you just train me? My pop's response was, I could teach you how to drive the truck, but I can't necessarily teach you how to pass the CDL test. Right. So, for some people, even for me that had a truck driver father, it was easier for me. It wasn't a big deal for me to go to school, right? And the logic behind that in my mind was like, the school is going to ensure that I know what I need to know in order to actually pass the CDL test. So I guess if you didn't go at all, you could say that process is a little bit more complicated.
Well, I see it like this. Some people, they do better in a classroom listen to somebody that's showing their presentation and showing what you need to do and talking about it. Me, I'd rather sit back in my quiet of my own home and just lay back in the bed and read. You know what I mean? And that's what helped me with this, the knowledge part of it. The theory part was all about reading. And if I didn't know something, obviously I got on YouTube and I read it, but damn, that's been 10 years ago.
Yep. I got you on that. And essentially, looking back at the process that of the classroom, the benefit of, here's the way a Shipper's Choice did it. When I first came into CDL school, I didn't have my learner's permit. Okay, Shipper's Choice wanted you to have your learner's permit, but they were like, if you don't have it, it's no big deal. We can help you get it. The thing was, you couldn't go out on the road with an instructor unless you had your learner's permit. Okay, so here's kind of the way that they did it. The further you were away from getting your learner's permit, the more time they wanted you in the classroom, essentially taking or getting the theory-based training, because there's no use in you going near the truck if you ain't even got your learner's permit yet. You get what I'm saying? Like if you want to, you can study up on learning the parts or whatever, but they didn't really let you touch the truck unless you were about to get your learner's permit, right? So for the first few weekends that I went in there, didn't have my learner's permit, I was in the classroom 70% of the time getting theory-based instruction, and 30% of the time I was out on the yard learning the different parts of the truck. As I got closer to getting my learner's permit, which I did that towards the middle of my training, that started to switch. I started to spend maybe 70% of my time out on, I started to spend maybe 30% of my time learning the pre-trip and 70% of the time learning how to back up and all of that good stuff, okay, on the range. This was after I got my learner's permit. And then, of course, that kind of graduated on to 30% of the time learning how to back up and 70% of the time out on the road. Essentially, what I'm saying with all of that is, if you didn't have your learner's permit, Shipper's Choice took you through theory-based training. And that theory-based training would help you pass the learner's permit, the written test. Chris said, it's better for him to just go home and read and try to learn, and learn about how to pass the written test to get your learner's permit, right? That's what Chris is saying. If an individual hadn't done that, though, that's what the classroom portion of Shipper's Choice training was going to take you through. Again, I hope I'm not confusing anybody that's listening to this. The point that I'm making with all of this is the same thing that I'm reading that the feds are saying this is what the schools have to train you on now is the same thing that just the same process that Shipper's Choice was already taking us through. Okay. So again, if for the individuals attending what we're going to call good CDL schools, like a CDL school is already supposed to be teaching this stuff. I'm going to say that again, right? Right. So because of that, I don't feel that the process is going to get any harder because they're already teaching this. It's not going to get any longer because they're already teaching this. Is it going to cost more? I can't see any reason why it would cost more. I think the videos that I've been looking at, the reason that people have been saying, and I'm just going to stop sharing right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to stop sharing. I think the reason that most people have been saying that it's going to cost more is because it's like, well, it's going to cost the schools more to institute this program. Where, again, I'm saying that based on the program that Shipper's Choice was instituting 6 years ago, it shouldn't cost them more to institute this program because they were already doing this stuff. So kind of because of all that, I don't really see it costing more either. It would cost more from a school that wasn't doing these things because now they got to implement stuff that they weren't doing initially if they want to stay in compliance. Okay. But again, for a good school, I don't really see it costing them more. I don't see it costing them more. I don't see it taking longer, and I don't see it being more difficult. And because this only deals with minimum requirements for entry-level drivers, meaning Shipper's Choice, according to what I went through 6 years ago, don't necessarily have to step up their level of training, which they had a great level of training. There's no need for them to step up their training. But like you learn how to drive a truck by getting out on the road and being in real world situations. I don't think making a driver like Chris go through the process that I went through at CDL school would make Chris a better driver from day one of having his CDL. And if it doesn't, then I don't see how it can improve overall highway safety. One thing I do see, what's your thoughts on this, Chris? I never went to a school that is sponsored by a company that is going to employ you afterwards. My assumption is a school that is attached to a company that can hire you afterwards is probably, that's your best bet of learning to drive a truck safely. Because the school like I went to wasn't attached to a company that could hire you afterwards.
So basically, you had to pay for your school,
Yes.
school, and versus
And then
a
you-
company like Swift or PAM or somebody like that, they can send you through their school and then train you, or Prime send you to their school and then lock you into a 1-year contract, and you'll have to work with them for a year to pay back that money.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes. And I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that's the if the only way to learn how to drive a truck really is being behind the wheel in real world situations, the type of school that I went to, they have other companies that come to them and talk to them and hire drivers from out of the class, but that school doesn't have the ability to hire you afterwards. And so if the main way to learn how to drive a truck is to be in a truck in real world situations, I would say that the school that has the ability to employ you and put you in real world situations, like that's probably going to be where you're going to stand the best chance of getting the best training as far as actually coming out of school and learning how to drive a truck. What's your thoughts on that? You got any thoughts on that?
If you already have a company in mind that you want to work for, like say your pops, say you wanted to go to work for him when you got done with school, then paying for your school, I would try to see if that company will be willing to help you put the money up to go to whatever school of their choice, and then you can go to work for him after you got done. At least you you know, hey, I'm going to go to work for my pop when I get done. I don't have to worry about finding a school and being locked in for a year.
Or finding a company.
Because, well, I mean, these big companies have huge turnover rates. Why? Number one reason, I mean, you get in the job and it's nothing like they said it was going to be, or the pay is nothing like the recruiter made it out to sound like it's going to be, which is his job. You know what I mean? Or the benefits or whatever. You might be better off working for your pop, not even knowing it, but you done locked in for a year with Swift. Now you got to do a whole year or get sued when you quit. So the only thing different though with this whole scenario is the fact that you just have to go to school.
You got to go to school. That's the only thing different. You got to go to school.
For people like me, that sucks because I mean, someone would argue with me and say, well, you need to go to school, which is basically what me and you were talking about before. Last time we went live was that one comment that gentleman made. Well, a few comments the gentleman made, like he went to school and worked for a company for 20 years and all that stuff. I mean, I don't see how that can make you a better driver. It's kind of they both go hand in hand, but
Yep. Let me read through some of these comments. There's a bunch here, okay? So I'm going to get to you guys' comments now. All right, boom. All right. So I kind of gave some of my reasons why I don't think it's going to cost more, why I don't think it's going to take longer. Again, because, I mean, hey, I got my CDL 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago on weekends in 2 months. And if the information on that website that I gave you guys, if that is the information, which it is, if that is the information, if that is the curriculum that the schools are that the feds are saying now that the schools have to take you through, school I went to was already taking people through that process. And I spoke to somebody else at another school in Virginia as well. I want to say Dudley's up in Newport News. And, you know, at the time I wasn't fishing for this information, but I recall that guy telling me the same exact stuff. They went through classroom training. They took a test, a classroom test. You know what I mean? Like they kind of already did all of that stuff. You know what I mean? So, boom. Let me go through some of these comments. What would you do? 64. We are the heartbeat of America. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Hard Stoner says hi all. A hell of a name as a truck driver, Hard Stoner. I'm guessing you're a truck driver, dog. Kyle says it will take longer for more school hours required, so schools will change more probably. Again, I don't know, Kyle. I don't see Shipper's Choice based on what I just read that schools have to go through now, and based on what I went through 6 years ago. Shipper's Choice, shout out to them. Again, they don't sound like they're gonna have to change a whole lot, right? I wish I could get somebody on here from Shipper's Choice. Baminda Boy, my authority went active, still waiting to get my IRP and IFTA. Congratulations, Baminda Boy.
Yeah.
Goddess Mac, I'm in orientation now. Got my CDL last week. Got you, Chris, I heard you. Roy R, congrats. I'll start orientation on Monday in Portland. Hard Stoner, New Year, CDL, school hours, 160 plus hour. Known, unknown. 20, don't take a course of action that is dangerous. And don't make the same mistake twice. Don't be too sure of yourself even when the way looks easy. I'm not really sure what he's referring to on that. Hard Stoner, February 7th, 2022, change CDL. Dorian Scott, the youth have to be the police. What the heck are y'all talking about in here? They have to be the police auditors. Allow communities now. Dorian Scott, what are you talking about? Paul Pierce, so ELDT only applies to people without CDL permit or CDL license by 2/7/22. Exactly. It only applies to people that are applying to get their CDL. Like if you got your permit already before February 7th, 2022, as long as you get your CDL before your permit expires, then you're good just by having your commercial learner's permit before February the 7th, 2022. There you go. You get grandfathered in. Exactly. If you start this process after February the 7th, 2022, and you were looking to get your CDL after that date without going to school, that won't be a possibility for you anymore.
I'm damn sure going to get my hazmat endorsement and tankers endorsement before this February 22nd.
Yeah.
If they can get me in there, that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind that you can also take those various tests through schools, through different schools. Like you don't have to necessarily go to the DMV to
Yeah,
do
man,
that.
but I ain't got time for school. I'm running a business.
Well, I mean, I don't mean you got to actually go to, like, you can go to the school instead of the DMV, is what I was saying. You
Oh,
might be
I
saying.
got you, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like Shipper's Choice is certified to be able to give, they're a one-stop shop. They can give you your test to get your learner's permit, and they can also give you your test to get your CDL as well. That wasn't something, that is like, that changed a while ago. Like CDL schools have the authority to be able to do that now. So, boom. The youth have, okay, where we are. Yes, and endorsements. How can someone get a CDL without going to school? You can get a CDL without going to school by going to get your CDL before February 7th, 2022, J Peeps. That's the only way you'll be able to do that.
So what I done, JP, I went and got my knowledge test, general knowledge test out of the way, got a permit, waited 14 days, paid a school to use their truck and trailer to do my skills test, and passed, and went back up to DMV and paid for my license, took my picture and handed me my license.
Yep.
That's how you do that.
Yep. And again, you can still do that up until February the 7th, 2022. All right. Hard Stoner says we have CDL permit for driver semi-truck with CDL instructor. We have CDL permit for driver semi-truck with CDL instructor. I'm not sure what you mean, Hard Stoner. Ryan K says, dude. Roy R. Hazmat was not bad. You do a background at TSA, which will cost you $89. Once you pass background check, then you can take hazmat endorsement tests, and it's good for 5 years. There you go, Chris. Good info for you right there.
Appreciate that, man.
Ryan K, how can I take the test if I don't have a truck? Are you trying to be funny, Ryan K? Are you like, I made a video about that, how to get a CDL, how to practice if you don't have a truck to practice on. I don't know if he's referring to that or not.
If you don't have a friend or something, you better start watching YouTube.
How can I take,
go to pay a school?
Yeah. So how can I take the test if I don't have a truck? You're going to need, like you said, you're going to need to have a friend that has a truck, or you're going to need to get somebody else to rent a licensed driver to rent the truck for you, and you go test in it. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it if you don't have a truck. Or like Chris did, just pay a school to use their truck. Ryan K.
If you pay a school, man, you got it made too, because I don't know about all schools, but my truck was a single axle Old Dominion truck with like a 43-foot trailer, so
yeah.
I had it easy.
And by the way, if you're in my area and you need to test and you don't have access to a truck, and you're talking about before February 7th, I got a truck that's just sitting right now. A truck and a trailer, somebody can test in. So if you're interested in doing that,
you can test in that.
Just hit me up. I'll give you a price on what you can, you know what I mean? Like you can use my other truck to test in, right? And maybe we can work something out on that one.
Give my truck away, man. Dang.
Alistair Kane says this is very informative. I hope you did find it informative, Alistair. Ashes Heartless, dang, it sounds like you have the same kind of problem with connection I do. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is I got with connection. I bought me a Wi-Fi extender, and for some reason I think my computer is signed on through my extender, but my phone is not. That's why I kept losing connection, I think. So anyway, Jay Weeks, take the test with the friend's truck. Same thing we was just talking about. Hard Stoner, test road semi-truck at school with instructor. Test road semi-truck at school with instructor. Okay.
Stoner, how stoned are you, bro? I'm playing.
Anthony Mark Paschal, great info. This seems to fit individuals' levels of status of your CDL process. I went to school, and honestly, I think everyone should. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a big deal with going to school. I really don't.
Well, my argument with that is I've been driving for almost 12 years, and I haven't had one single wreck. And I've never torn nobody's stuff up, not even my own stuff. So school, with them making you have to go to school, I mean, there are a lot of bad drivers out here. So that's not that bad of an idea. But
is it going to improve highway safety?
I still don't see
I don't see it, man. I don't see it.
You're not out here driving, doing the job. You're just training to do the job with somebody sitting beside you going, don't do this, don't do that. Well, what happens whenever that guy ain't sitting there no more?
Yeah.
What are you going to do then?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can go call them on the phone and ask them, hey, I'm in this predicament. What do I do?
Yeah.
And don't ask the CB because they're gonna laugh at you.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see this right here because again, it's not like drivers are going through CDL school, even the top-notch CDL school like Shipper's Choice. It's not like drivers are going through CDL school and then coming out like really knowing what they're doing. And that's the question that I was asking earlier. Like I can see the benefit in going to a school that is attached to a company that can hire you afterwards. If we're talking about the best way to put a driver out on the road and ensure driver safety and highway safety, like that's the program that's going to be the closest, I would say. Like get school.
They'll pair you up with another driver. And
it's in their best interest to make sure that you get trained. To make sure you get extensive training. It's in their best interest to make sure that you do that. You know what I mean? So, let me read through some more of these comments here. I hear employers train you first 6 months anyways. Well, Ryan K, this is off subject a little bit, but, I think something else that is with this program, like the definition of what an entry-level driver I believe is a little bit different now. Like I read somewhere that the definition of an entry-level driver used to be a driver that has had their CDL for less than a year, which makes sense. That's why companies actually legally have to train you. If you had a CDL for less than a year, they have to provide some sort of driver training for you, because up until now, and I could be wrong on this, but I believe I'm right. Up until now, the definition of a entry level driver is anybody that's had a CDL for less than a year. So here's what that means. As of prior to this, it is the employer of a CDL holder that has had their CDL for less than a year. It is the responsibility of the employer to give that new CDL holder some entry-level driver training. Whereas now, the definition of an entry-level driver is a driver that is applying for their CDL essentially the first time. So I'm not sure how that plays out, because essentially now a driver that has a CDL and has only had it 6 months, technically by definition is not an entry-level driver anymore. Whereas an entry-level driver used to be any driver that had a CDL for less than a year. And again, it was the responsibility of the hiring company to make sure they gave that driver some sort of entry-level training. I'm not sure. I would assume that a company that hires a driver now, even though the definition of what an entry-level driver is has changed slightly, I would think that it's still in a company's best interest that's hiring a driver that has had a CDL less than 6 months to give that driver some entry-level driver training. I still don't see a company putting a driver behind the wheel that just came out of school, just got their CDL, and only because the definition of what an entry-level driver is has changed, now the company says, well, shoot, the responsibility ain't on us to provide this training to the companies, to these people anymore. That was supposed to be provided by the school that trained them. Like, I still think companies are going to offer that training. I still think they're going to, like, I don't think they're going to be like, well, we ain't training you no more. We ain't going to give you that helping hand for your first year. All right. So just kind of wanted to cover that. Just kind of wanted to go over that. Right. I think recently the definition of what an entry level driver is has changed slightly. Okay. All right. Boom. So that was dealing with Ryan K's comment. I hear employers train you first 6 months anyway. They do, and I would think they still are, but I'm not. I would think they still are, but again, an entry-level driver is now not someone that has had their CDL for less than a year. It's somebody that's applying for their CDL the first time, which technically means once you get your CDL, you're not considered an entry-level driver anymore. Again, I don't see how, unless I'm unclear on this, I don't really see how this is gonna improve highway safety. Right? I don't see how that's going to improve highway safety. Roy R says, I enjoyed CDL school. I learned quite a bit. Most companies will reimburse you for what you paid for school if you stay for 1 year. There you go. Ryan K says CDL school costs $4,000. I paid a little bit over $5,000 for my CDL school Ryan K. And I really don't think, just another side note, if the cost of CDL school does go up February 7th, 2022, I don't really see that as being a big deal. I really don't. I personally feel that if you look at what having a CDL can do for your life, if getting a CDL can take you out of $35,000-$40,000 a year jobs and put you in $70,000-$80,000 a year jobs, after you've had a CDL for 5 years, it ain't gonna matter whether you pay $4,000 to get a CDL, $5,000, $6,000, or $7,000. It's just really not. It's gonna be a non-factor, right? I want to be careful how I say that, though, because if training providers hear that we drivers are okay with paying more because of the benefits of having a CDL, they may be more inclined just to charge us more, just because they know that we're willing to pay more. So I want to be careful about how I say that, right? David Escobar says government grants available to some people. Yes, they are. Hard Stoner, 6 months and year get CDL. No. Damn, Hard Stoner, you killing me, bro. You killing me, boss. I don't know what you're saying. Appreciate you being here, Hard Stoner. Roy R says, true, I was 4 weeks, 160 hours. 46 Gang, hi, helpful trucker. What's going on, 46 Gang? Ashes Heartless, to all the truckers, will be truckers. Thank you, sincerely, deeply, and honestly. You are deeply appreciated. Thank you, Ashes Heartless. Ryan K, I can literally go to the DMV and get my CDL without CDL school as long as I study. Yeah, you can up until February the 7th. All right, those are the people that it does affect. People that want to get their CDL without going to school. 46 Gang says, thank you. 46 Gang says, I drive a Hostler and a day cab. What is a Hostler, Chris? You know what that is?
I have no idea. It's a day cab, though.
I got you.
Yes. What is a Hostler? 46 Gang.
What is a Hostler? 46 Gang. Falcon 509, can you turn your phone sideways for the pictures? Hard to see. I hope it helped you out some when I shared my computer screen. Falcon 509. 46 Gang says driving is... Go ahead, Chris.
What are you talking about? Turn the phone sideways. Talking about my phone?
No. I think they were talking about what I was showing on my phone when I was sharing my phone screen.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why I say I think it helped. I hope it helped him some, or Falcon 509 some, when I shared my computer screen as opposed to my phone screen. 46 Gang drop.
Go ahead, man. My bad.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, anybody in the chat, just get their license. Let us know in the comments.
TN raised 615. If you're in Tennessee, TCAT, Shelbyville, 7.5 weeks of training, great school and teacher. Appreciate you shouting them out, man. I shouted out Shipper's Choice. I'm in Virginia. Like I know Shipper's Choice is one of the biggest schools in Virginia, one of the biggest independent schools in Virginia. Again, I went to the location in Chester, Virginia. I feel like they taught everything they needed an individual to know in order to pass their CDL tests in the time that they said the course would last. However, there were individuals that did not feel that they had enough time behind the wheel, or that they knew enough. But I'm convinced, being that I passed all of that stuff the first try, that the school did a good job at sharing what needed to be shared in order for an applicant to be able to pass and get their CDL test on time, right? So shout out to Shipper's Choice.
Did a good job of paying attention.
Exactly. I paid attention. Exactly. 100%. I paid attention and I studied. I came home and did exactly what I did all of that stuff. And I took that joint seriously. I really did, man. I didn't play around with it, right? Ashes Heartless says, you guys are wonderful and truly the lifeblood of America, and I don't care what those other idiots say or do. You have someone here who understands what you are doing for all of us and appreciates. Ryan K says, we're not flying a plane. Hey, man.
I feel like it, though.
you ain't flying a plane, but you are operating a moving missile.
Bro, I got buttons and stuff for days on this dash.
Damn, I bet you do. It probably don't feel much different than sitting in the cockpit of an airplane, right?
I know, that's what I was saying. When I first got in the truck back in the day, I'm looking at everything going, ooh, what's that? What's that? And then I start pushing buttons.
My homie C Bear said they logged his progress at CDS. He went to CDS in Virginia. I've heard of CDS and heard good stuff about them. Shipper's Choice logs your progress as well. So like I saw, Shipper's Choice was on the news a while ago, and I saw the video, and there was an individual that went to school. This is what the news article was about. There was an individual that went to school that was like, I don't feel like I had enough time behind the wheel. I don't feel like I know enough. Well, the general director of Shipper's Choice, or the owner, or whoever they were interviewing, he was able to pull up the paperwork that the instructor was logging on that driver, and he was able to say, hey, Mr. Such and Such got so many hours of road training and range training. They gave him the instructors give a score, so the director who was giving the interview was like, his range scores are here, his public road scores are here, his simulate whatever he went through. He was able to look at that person's progress based on what the instructor was documenting. Okay, so like again, I'm gonna say again, like if you go into school, the process ain't getting no harder. This is what schools, reputable schools, I'm gonna say, we're already doing. All of the stuff that website that I gave you guys are saying that they have to do now, schools are already doing this. TN Ray 615 said facts. Anthony Davis says, are the feds making vaccine mandates for truckers? I haven't.
Bigger company drivers. So bigger companies that have more drivers, they're trying to mandate that to where like 100 drivers or more has to have a shot.
Yeah.
But as in my company, they can kiss my ass.
Yeah. Yep. So are the feds making vaccine mandates for truckers? They're making vaccine mandates for individuals that have businesses that have more than 100 employees, and so some trucking companies do fall under that, right? Anybody that wants to do business with the federal government, I believe, also has to take a vaccine. So even if you are an independent trucker, I believe I'm right on this. Even if you are an independent trucker, if you're doing business with the government, which a lot of independent truckers do, you might have to get a vaccine. Might have to get vaccinated there as well. All right. But Chris hasn't had to get vaccinated. The mandate hasn't affected him, and it hasn't affected me either. Roy R said, I said that at my school. I was there 4 weeks and only drove 6 times. Too many students. I still passed, but I said that. Yeah, I said I actually felt at the end of school that I didn't have enough, that I didn't, that I could have used more. But hey, man, there is no minimum amount of hours that the school has to give you as far as theory training or behind the wheel training. So it ain't like, man, the school got to give me more time. They determine whether they got to do that or not. Okay. Ryan K, truckers are the most independent profession. I agree. PyCon, I like your passion, brother. Appreciate you being here, PyCon. I've been on way longer than I planned on being on, man. I'm gonna try to get through these comments so we can hop off, man. J Black Money Entertainment. I went over a majority of the ELDT guidelines. Seems like the schools will be forced to turn out better trained and equipped drivers if the schools adhere to them. If the school wasn't training, it wasn't turning out drivers that are properly equipped, yes, that is the case. But I'm gonna say again, as far as the experience that I went through at Shipper's Choice compared to what I've read that the feds are saying that the schools have to do now, there is no different. There was no different. J Black Money Entertainment. All right. If an individual is going to a school that wasn't doing all of this stuff, yeah, the process is going to get longer. Okay, but not for a school that was doing it the right way. Hard Stoner says, just out of nowhere, he just says COVID-19 vaccine mandate. I've read it, Hard Stoner, but I don't know what you're referring to, Big Ovi. Anthony Davis, I would rather have training though. Makes sense. Make sense. Dog, don't be so anxious to get out on the road. Like, everybody ain't Chris Ward. Don't be so anxious to get out on the road without some training. 100%. Everybody don't have a dad at home like I did, where you could just hop in your dad's truck when you get out of training. So yeah, it's a good thing. What'd you say, Chris?
I was gonna say the same thing. I grew up around trucks. One of my first jobs when I actually turned 18 was hanging out for Thomasville Furniture Industries with the actual owner, and we had like 18 trucks that I got to play around with. So, in a big yard. So I mean, it's not the same. Like, I didn't just jump in here and I can take off. You know, I
Mm-hmm,
had to learn too, but I grew up around it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good point,
it
Ed.
helps.
Good point, Anthony Davis. Yeah, we would rather have training. Makes sense. Killer Rob, 1998. So basically nothing is changing except you have to go to school. Want to be careful about how I say that, but basically, yes. Now, if you, in some states, watch this. I believe I'm right on this. In some states, you already had to go to school.
Yeah.
In some states, you already had to go to school, right? So those states, you still gonna have to go to school, okay? In some states like Virginia, you didn't have to go to school, but so if you didn't have to go to school and you want to get a CDL after February 7th, 2022, if you were planning on not going to school, that is going to change. But if you were going to go to school anyway, unless you were going to go to a school that wasn't going to be taking you through what I'm going to call is the proper training, it's what Shipper's Choice took us through, and I bet it's what CDS took CBEAR through. But it's the same type of training because I've heard good stuff about CDS training, right? If you're going through that level of training, nothing changes. It's not going to get harder because there's nothing in that stuff that I went over that Shipper's Choice didn't cover anyway. Everything from all of the stipulations on the behind the wheel public road training, all of the stipulations on the behind the wheel range training, and all of the stipulations on the theory based training, that was all stuff that Shipper's Choice took us through anyway. So I would say based on that, Killer Rob 1998, that yeah, basically nothing is changing. Okay, the biggest change is coming, I would say, on the part of the training providers. They are the ones that have to make changes, and that is only if they wasn't doing stuff according to how the feds wanted it done to begin with. Again, if that basically means if a school wasn't teaching all of that stuff that Shipper's Choice was teaching us while we were there, then now they're going to have to start teaching that stuff. And in that case, I can't say for sure the cost of CDL school won't go up because I don't know, but according to what Shipper's Choice was offering 6 years ago and according to what they have to offer now, it's not going to cost them any more to offer that. So there's no reason for it to become more expensive. Okay, so yeah, in my opinion, I don't really expect any of this stuff to change. I also don't expect it to improve highway safety. All right, so appreciate that comment, Killer Rob 1998. And they have to make sure you ready before you test. Yes, they got the tester, the instructor is basically signing off that you're ready before you test. They give a certification. That certification is sent to the appropriate state authority, and then the Department of Motor Vehicles or whoever is issuing you your test to get your CDL can access that database to see that you completed that ELDT training. Yes, great question, Killer Rob 1998. Falcon 509 says take your time. J Black Money Entertainment, pull up the information. Have to learn how to research for yourself. Can't receive everything secondhand. 100%. I recommend that you check out the website tpr.fmcsa.dot.gov, and there's a link at the bottom of the page that gives you the regulations dealing with drivers getting their CDL. Okay, everything I read to you is on there. Ryan K, thanks for the help. DJ, I'm here soaking up the knowledge. Appreciate you being here, DJ. Ryan K, I watched it. Dizzy Roth, hit the like button. Definitely, I ain't told nobody. Hit the like button if you hadn't already. Do me a favor, definitely hit the like button.
Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel.
Big pressure. All you got to do is get your permit before February. Yeah, to avoid this. But if you can't, then just get it afterwards. Ain't no big deal. Just go to school. Shit, just go to school, right? Ryan K, I just paid $130 for my medical DOT certification. There you go. J Black Money Entertainment, have to get the full valid CDL before February. Not necessarily.
You paid $30 for a DOT.
$130.
Oh God,
$130. That's about what it is here in Virginia, I believe. The last time I read.
I paid $90.
Yeah, I believe it's about 130.
I don't know, man. That's crazy.
I got you.
I thought he said 30 at first. I was
no, 130.
Away,
130. J Black Money Entertainment says have to get the full valid CDL before February. No, you just need to get the learner's permit before February 7th, 2022. If you at least got your learner's permit, then you're grandfathered in. Okay. And as long as you actually get your your learner's permit can't expire. Okay, so if you got your learner's permit before February 7th, you're good, you're golden. As long as your learner's permit doesn't expire. Roy R. Mine was 110 in Oregon. Got you. Anthony Mark Pascal 150 in Nevada. I'm assuming these guys are talking about what the cost of the DOT, the medical card is. Hard Stoner $130 medical exams. That's the first thing Hard Stoner put up there. I think I understand what he's trying to say. Ryan K is in Arizona. Paul Pierce, they ripped y'all off. I got mine for $65. What state you in, Paul Pierce? Roy R. LOL.
Get mine done.
My dog Light Warrior is here. What's going on, Light Warrior? Wow, I paid $75 in Southern California, and I thought that was high. Now I'm thankful. Ryan K., the VA couldn't see me until February. Hard Stoner, Paul, you right. $65 in New Jersey. Anthony Davis, you have a year from the date you obtained your CDL permit to get your full CDL. After that, if you don't have it, you have to do what he's saying. Hard Stoner, 130 to 150 medical exam is SCA. Hard Stoner says scam. Roy R, my test for backing was straight line offset, then 90. It was easy. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. J Black Money Entertainment, my younger brother got DOT medical exam and CDL permit for free by CR England, not intentionally, but last minute he decided on another school, pulled out, hence free. LOL, they didn't hassle him about it. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Known unknown. 20, don't take a course of action that is dangerous and don't make the same mistake twice. Don't know. Roy R. Oregon is pre-trip back in 3 stars. What the heck are y'all talking about?
I thought you done said that one comment twice.
Yeah, I think I just saw it again.
Twice. You spamming chat, bro?
Ryan K. Best way to learn is driving the truck, 100%. Mike Law, which shipper choice in VA did you attend? I attended Chester, shipper's choice. Mike Law. Anthony Davis.
We need to reach out, email shipper's choice, and see if they reach back to you.
Got that going right. I agree. I totally agree.
Send them a link of your channel for reference and just tell them what kind of go through a rough draft of why you need them, maybe 10, 15 minute, little interview if they don't mind. I'm sure you can get it done, man.
Yep. Disco Stew, I just want to know if I need to get my hazmat before February.
Yes, if you don't want to go to school and have the theory section of it.
Yeah. We'll just keep it simple. If you don't want to go to school, if you planning on doing that without going to school, and you're asking if I just want to know if I need to get my hazmat before February. Yeah, if you want to get it without having to go to school, just keep it simple. Yeah, if you want to get it without having to go to school.
If you can get in there without having to have an appointment.
Yeah.
COVID-19.
Yeah. People saying yes. Roy R. saying yes. Anthony Davis saying yes. Big Pressure saying yeah. They all answering this question saying yes. Disco Stu. Guess I better make that appointment. J Black Money Entertainment. LOL. My younger bro is FTA school right now. Most of the instructors there are lazy. They have the students trying to teach others pre-trip on their own. Ryan K. No schools take the GI Bill. I would think some schools take the GI Bill. What do you think about that, Chris?
I have no idea. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not familiar with it. I'm guessing it's like a grant.
Yeah, I mean, the GI Bill for being in the military, yeah, you might have to go to a technical college. You might have to go to more like a technical school, you know what I mean, to do that. But they take GI Bills. Yeah, I believe they do. Not 100% sure about that, Ryan K. All right, boom. I got to hop off, man. I got a lot of comments here that I could not cover, that I did not cover. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through some of the comments now. All right. So yeah, listen, man. Again, I mean, I hope some of you guys got some relevant information from this right here. Again, I would say that I don't see this affecting everybody. I only see this affecting people that wanted to get a CDL without going to school. I don't see this as improving highway safety. That's to the FMCSA. Not that they care what I think, right? I don't think it's going to make the process more difficult. I don't think it's going to make the process longer, and I don't necessarily think that it's going to make the process more expensive. Okay. Again, those are all just my opinions. I could prove to be wrong on all of that. I just know that every video that I've heard and every blog post that I've read, like, nobody is saying that. So I wanted to kind of share this. Like, almost like everybody's trying to sell fear. Oh, you better hurry up and get it. You better hurry up and get it. If you don't, you get this, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think
Alex.
I don't think you should make a big deal. Who is Alex? What do you mean?
Ain't that who the Asian my dude? Ain't that his name?
Yeah. Oh, he made a video talking about that?
Yeah, he was talking about that a few weeks ago. Maybe a week ago.
I got you, man. All right, boom.
That's why when you went live and I seen that, I was like, "Oh snap! I'm about to jump in on this."
What you had a few? You had a few words for Alex or something?
Yeah, I was gonna tell him what I thought. Nah, if y'all ain't seen his last video, he posted a video saying that he was riding in one of those self-driving trucks.
Yeah. I didn't look at it, but it did pop up on my timeline.
He was getting towed around by a tow truck. And meanwhile, he's bouncing around going, I can't believe it. Dude, that's stupid, man. He's funny as hell.
I gotta check out the video. I gotta check that out.
We brothers out here. I mean, like, I got YouTube, you got YouTube, Alex, he got a YouTube. Anybody that does this, you know, we all like family too. So I just thought it was funny as hell.
Real quick before we hop off, man. Now, I got one comment I just see that just now popped up. RY. Any tips to passing your skills and road tests? I can drive a truck fine by myself, but it's like I can't pass the test with the examiner. Right off the top, you just got to get to the point that you can. If you can drive the truck, you can drive the truck. RY. If you can drive the truck, you can drive the truck.
Skills test. And the only part that's a presentation is the pre-trip, and that's something you just have to work through. I was stage fright, you know, and I don't know. I just pretended like they weren't there, and I practice like with my wife or at the house, just naming off from the top, you know, the front of the truck, side of the truck, whatever. Even if I miss something, you know, she was telling me, slow down, I'm going too fast. When it comes time to do the skills test, my examiner was like, you're going too fast. So practice, you know?
Yep. There's some good questions on here I want to answer. Falcon 509 says, can you take the learner's permit in another place other than at the DMV? Yes, that place backlogged and need appointments. Yes. Shipper's Choice. Again, I just went to their website either today or yesterday. You can do schooling through Shipper's Choice. You can take your test to get your learner's permit through Shipper's Choice. You can take your test to get your CDL through Shipper's Choice, right? So I don't know if that's the case with everybody, but now they did that a while ago to kind of ease some of the pressure that was going on at the DMV. Certain CDL school training programs can now test you to give you your learner's permit. So yeah, you don't necessarily have to go into the DMV to get your test. Falcon 509. I appreciate you putting that question in. Mustafa Salam, I'm glad you put that in. You reminded me. I do have a cheat sheet down in the description of this video, guys. 28 tips to help you pass your CDL test. Some stuff that I jotted down based on what my DMV tester shared with me when I took my CDL test, in addition to some pointers from other truck drivers, myself and others, suggestions of things that you should make sure you do it when you're trying to get your CDL. So definitely look down in the description and get the cheat sheet. Download that as well. All right. There is also a product that I'm promoting, and you'll see that after you get the cheat sheet. I endorse Trucking Made Easy. If you never heard of that before, once you download and get your cheat sheet, it'll lead you over to the Trucking Made Easy program that I endorse. If you're the type that you're looking to learn more about trucking and you would like to kind of get all that stuff in one place, Trucking Made Easy is a series of ebooks that's going to help you to learn the different aspects of trucking, what you need to know before you get in, what you need to know after you get in, the different types of trucking that you can do, like tanker, flatbed, van, what it's like to be over the road, what it's like to be local, what it's like to do dedicated runs. The trucking, all that stuff is in Trucking Made Easy. How to become an owner operator, how to become a fleet operator. It's got advanced topics like that as well. In my opinion, it's the perfect resource for individuals that are looking to learn more about trucking, and it's everything all in one spot. So look down in the video description, download 28 tips to help you pass your CDL test, and then after you download that, you'll see my recommendation for Trucking Made Easy. If you're looking to learn more about the trucking profession, definitely I endorse that product. All right. Back to what
any Black Friday deals or Cyber Monday deals on your merch?
No, I didn't.
Man,
I'm in the middle of I need to revamp my merch shelf. What people see.
I'm about to get the "This Driver Is Driven" shirt next.
You like that one?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, what Chris is talking about.
Too, bro.
What Chris is talking about right now is below my videos. I have a merch shelf set up where I got a couple of shirts down there as well. Most of the stuff that's offered is offered in t-shirt or hoodie. And he's asking me, did I offer any Black Friday sales for my shirt? So, hey, look, man, support the channel, right? Go down below and grab you up a shirt as well. Chris said he likes the one that says, "This driver is driven." That's actually my favorite shirt as well, right? But if you look below the video, you'll see that.
That's why I want to wear it. I want one.
Got you. But yeah, RY, any tips to passing the skills and road tests? Like, download the 28 tips. Right, they are definitely relevant, and guys, what Chris said, just kind of act like your instructor isn't there. You just gotta, like, if you know how to drive the truck, you gotta know how to drive it, whether somebody is in that passenger seat, an instructor is over there, or tester is over there or not. That's really the main thing I would say to that. Right? How much did you pay for CDL school at Shipper's Choice? RAR, I paid just over $5,000. Wow, Moshin Youssef, Moshin from the Sudan, planning to move to the States and get into trucking. Thank you guys for sharing. Moshin, are you in the Sudan right now as you're watching us? If you can let me know that before we close out, I would like to know. That's crazy, Sudan in the house. What'd you say, Chris?
I don't even remember.
Gotcha, man. Look, family, I appreciate all you guys. Go for it, man. Go ahead. I think we got a little bit of a delay.
Oh, it doesn't matter, man. Go ahead. We're done.
Yeah. Appreciate all you guys for being here. Be sure to give the post a like before you hop off if you haven't already. If you're here and you have not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel so that YouTube will notify you when I upload another helpful video. I try to make them as helpful as possible. So, like, if you like helpful info like this, you don't want to miss it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. So, other than that, my man says, Mohsin Youssef says, no, I am now in India. India in the house. Right. India in the house. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm flattered. I'm flattered. Let me hop off because I could go through these questions for days. We going, family. I appreciate all y'all being here, man. Let me end this live stream. I got to get back on YouTube now. All right, here we go. And I gotta hurry up and end this thing too, because I gotta pee.
I'm ready for a cigarette. I ain't even gonna lie. I got 20 minutes. I'm at the house.
Matter of fact, hang on. I can't even hold it. Woo! You still on, dude?
Yeah. Definitely made the ride home a lot faster, man. I appreciate you letting me hang out with you.
Why the hell am I on Gmail if I'm clicking the wrong stuff? Hang on, dog.
You had to go pee. I ain't no telling what you clicked.
Yeah. All right.
You still live?
I think so, man. I'm about to end it right now. I'm trying to get back to the right screen, man. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to the right screen, man. For some reason I can't.
Make sure I don't say nothing I ain't supposed to.
There we go. In stream. All right, boom.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Glenn. I've tried to reach out to him 2 or 3 times.